Hi, I'm Suzanne Lynn with a very special author. Her name is Shauna Boudreaux. And Shauna is, she's written a book. It's called Peregrination Series Book 1, Earth Second Edition. Welcome, Shauna. I'm glad that you're here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Suzanne.
Shauna's been married for 20 years, got a few children, and this book came up as kind of an inspiration from what storms that were happening that you saw around you. Can you talk more about that?
Yes, Suzanne. That is how it happened. Storms are pretty much, wreak havoc on the earth, and they destroy civilizations, and people disappear. And in the summer of 2017, an idea came to mind about writing. Where do these civilizations go, or where do these people go? Now in reality, we know most likely they perish, they die. But in the books, some people are chosen to travel through time by way of storms that open portals through enough power that's created within the storm.
And that's kind of what peregrination means, right? Isn't it some source of traveling?
Yes, to peregrinate. It's an old word. They don't use it much anymore,
I was
but
going to
it
say,
means
is
to
that even
travel.
a real word?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I do get asked that because people think because I write fiction fantasy, I made that up. But
Right.
it really is a word. It means to travel over or through an extensive voyage, usually on foot. And an old Latin translation was for the love of God.
Hmm. Your faith is a big part of this book. And when you're talking about fiction and fantasy, did you find that hard to walk the line of honor God honoring?
Um, yes and no. The main thing that honors God is, the fact that I'm very clean with my writing. I'm
Mm.
very careful with what I put. I try not to write anything that is alternate to what the Bible says, even though my characters in some of the later books are gifted with powers. But it's very well known, and it's very made very clear that the powers are from God. The gifts that they're
Hmm.
given are from God to battle demons mainly. They're not even allowed to use them against humans.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Yes.
there is real pretty close to biblical truth in that then.
Right. I mean, the Bible is clear that people are given supernatural powers throughout the Bible and throughout history. People have been given supernatural powers. Now, they may not be as extensive as the powers that, some of my characters have, but still at the same time, their powers are only gifted to them because they have to battle evil.
What's going on in the book that there's evil? Where did they go and who are the main characters?
Well, the main character, it starts off with a character named Seth Jager. He's 27. It starts off with a real storm, the earthquake of San Francisco, California, 1906.
Hmm.
There are some real storms in the book. There are some fake storms, but they through the storm they're transported into another realm and another period of time where they wake up and find that they're thrown into this life and they have no idea why. Some are believers, some are not believers. So they have to wrestle with the fact that they've been chosen by a God that they didn't really believe in, um, to do, his work to try to find artifacts and find people and battle demons to save mankind from his own destruction.
What are you hoping people feel when they read your book?
Well, first, I hope they enjoy it. It's kind of an adventure series, but I also hope that it makes them think about their own walk. I've had people tell me that when reading the book, and the things that the characters deal with, and their own personal conflicts and their own personal demons within themselves that they have to battle with, that it made them realize that, what they're going through could just be where God has them and where God's
Mm.
using them.
It's their storm, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right.
Wow. Um, I'm just thinking, I'm doing the imagery in my mind about this traveling. It sounds like it could be a movie, to be honest with you.
I've had people tell me that too.
Yeah.
It I'm afraid it might be expensive to make
Yes,
because
yes.
as the books go, as you get into the other series, there are worlds that I've created, lands that don't exist that are
Mm.
fantastical. In book one, there's a realm of giants. Book two, there's a land called Zonkir. where there's giant creatures and giant trees and an entire rogue band of people who kind of rule that world. But
Wow.
the books aren't necessarily about those worlds; they're about the people and the journey they have to make through these worlds.
You walk with it through them, Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're talking about, for a movie to be made, Steven Spielberg kind of dollar. So Steven, if you're watching, just
Yeah.
contact Shauna, okay? And
Hello.
actually anybody else who wants to contact Shauna, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can contact me via my website, www.sgboudreaux.com, or you can get me through my email at sgboodro2@yahoo.com. And on my website and in my books is my P.O. box also.
Wonderful. And I just really encourage you, you want to think about some futuristic things and still have biblical truth. Peregrination Series Book 1, Earth, 2nd edition. Shauna Boudreaux, thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. You too.